Welcome to Terrifying Tales, where we delve into the unknown. Prepare for a chilling adventure into a world where fear and darkness reign supreme, as we unravel eerie tales from the unsung heroes of the night, the 911 Dispatchers. The journey begins now. Our first tale, The Graveyard Shift. In the depths of the night, when the world is swathed in darkness and silence reigns supreme, the graveyard shift begins for the 911 Dispatchers. It's a realm of eternal night, where the moon and stars are the only witnesses to their vigilance. The city sleeps, its inhabitants lost in dreams, oblivious to the latent fear that thrives in the dead of night. The dispatchers, their eyes weary yet alert, are the unsung heroes, the guardians of the night. Each call they receive is a leap into the unknown, a plunge into a sea of uncertainty. Their workspace, bathed in the soft glow of computer screens, serves as a beacon of hope in the heart of darkness. The hum of electronic equipment and the rhythmic tapping of keys punctuate the silence, a constant reminder of their unwavering vigilance. The phone lines, their lifelines, lie dormant, anticipating the jarring ring that could shatter the tranquility at any moment. Each call is a potential cry for help, a plea for salvation, a desperate whisper in the darkness. The dispatchers, their hearts steady, their resolve unshaken, stand ready to answer, to lend a hand, to be the calm in the storm. In the dead of night, when the phone rings, it's a call to arms. It's a summons to battle against the unseen, the unknown, the feared. Each ring, a clarion call that breaks the silence, heralds a new challenge, a new mystery, a new fear to conquer. When the phone rings in the dead of night, who or what might be on the other end? The dispatchers brace themselves, ready to face whatever lurks in the shadows, ready to dive into the abyss of uncertainty, ready to navigate the treacherous waters of fear. In the faceless world of the 911 dispatchers, every call is a story waiting to unfold, a fear waiting to be quelled, a life waiting to be saved. This is their reality, their duty, their honor. And so they wait, their hearts steady, their resolve unshaken, ready for the shrill ring that will pierce the silence, ready to face the unknown, ready to be the beacon in the dark. And then the phone rings. In the hushed silence of midnight, a phone rings. It's a sound that slices through the tranquil quietude, shrill and urgent, shattering the terminal calmness of night. The first ring echoes in the stillness, bouncing off the walls of a room solitary in its existence. The relentless ticking of the clock on the wall seems to pause, as if in respect of the intrusive sound. The second ring follows, catering to the same urgency and insistence that resonates in the darkness, its persistence forming an invisible thread that pulls at the veil of silence, revealing the urgency behind it. A 911 dispatcher, nestled in the confines of an office that lives in a realm of eternal night, picks up the phone. His hand is steady, his heart calm. He's trained to be an island in the storm, a beacon of calm amid a sea of chaos. His voice is firm, yet a lifeline thrown to those caught in the turbulent waves of fear. Yet all he hears are the hushed, terrified whispers of a woman. Her voice is a trembling thread of sound that weaves a chilling tapestry of fear. It's a voice that carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. She attempts to convey the terror that has invaded her sanctum, her refuge. Her voice trembles, a thin wisp of sound that carries of her fear, a spectral manifestation of her dread. She frantically reports that there's an intruder in her house. The dispatcher conveys the message to the police. The words intruder and house trigger an immediate response. Their hearts start pounding, matching the rhythm of the adrenaline coursing through their veins. They are warriors, knights in modern armor heading into the unknown. They rush to the scene, their vehicles slicing through night like arrows shot from a bow. The sirens wail in the darkness, a grim anthem to their determination. Yet, upon their arrival, they find the house eerily empty. It stands there, a silent sentinel in the night, its darkened windows a grim testament to the fear that once echoed in its halls. They search the house, their flashlights slicing through the darkness, revealing no signs of forced entry. The doors are intact, the windows undisturbed. Everything is as it should be, and yet the silence is deafening. The anticipation of a confrontation, the adrenaline-fueled readiness, all melt a surreal sense of disbelief. The woman's fear, however, still hangs heavy in the air, a thick fog that suffocates the silence. It hangs like a ghost, an unseen entity whose presence is felt in the chill that permeates the air. The police feel it, a tangible thread of dread that weaves itself into their consciousness. The house is empty, yet fear is a palpable presence, a testament to the woman's terror. A chilling whisper echoes in the line, a ghostly reverberation that sends shivers down their spines. "He's still here," she whispers, her voice a spectral echo in the silence. The words hang in the air, dripping with terror and uncertainty. They reverberate in the confines of the house, bouncing off the walls, multiplying in the silence. The call abruptly ends, leaving the chilling echo of her voice to saturate the silence, a bone-chilling declaration of an unseen terror. An invisible enemy that lurks in the shadows, undeterred by the presence of the law. Another phone rings, its insistent shrill piercing the silence, the haunting glow of the display casting grotesque, elongated shadows. It's an image that appears mundane, if not for the suffocating stillness of the late unholy hour. Above, the ominous pallor of the night sky stretches out in a silent scream, its stars cloaked behind a sinister quilt of obsidian clouds. The moonlight, however, fights a valiant battle against the engulfing blackness, casting an otherworldly glow on the bleak, desolate city street. Adjacent to the phone, a sputtering street lamp makes a futile stand against the enveloping quiet. Its flickering brilliance throws long, distorted shadows on the desolate pavement, moulding a chilling tableau of isolation. At the epicenter of this gloom stands a solitary payphone, a grim sentinel from an era long past, its cold metallic body reflecting the spectral light. The phone rings again, a jarring, intrusive screech that shatters the delicate silence, its vibrations ricocheting off the stone wall of the abandoned building it leans against. Imagine now a man, materializing from the covetous darkness. His features are shrouded under the brim of a well-worn hat, and his coat whips about in the frigid wind, revealing glimpses of a life marred by strife. He approaches the phone with faltering steps, his ragged breaths catching in his throat, a stark illustration of the terror gnawing relentlessly at his resolve. His shaking hand reaches out, grasping the receiver. The pounding of his heartbeat echoes in his ears as he hurriedly punches in the numbers he prays would be his deliverance. His voice comes out in a hushed, quivering whisper, a feeble thread of sound saturated with raw fear. He stammers about being pursued, his fractured words painting a terrifying picture of a menacing figure shrouded in obscurity. His wide eyes dart fearfully around the barren streets, half expecting the horrific apparition to materialize ominously from the shadows. His voice pitches higher, desperation seeping into his hurried words. His plea for help fractures the silence, a frantic scream against the unforgiving stillness. Without preamble, his frantic conversation is severed. The line goes dead, the silence an eerie mirror of his escalating dread. Abruptly, a biting gust of wind sweeps mercilessly across the street, causing the payphone's receiver to sway in a macabre dance, its clang against the booth a cruel taunt for help. The man is inexplicably absent. His disappearance is as swift and bewildering as his sudden emergence, leaving behind only the spectral remnants of his palpable terror. By the time officers arrive, the scene that greets them is a bone-chilling spectacle. The payphone dangles off the hook, swaying ominously in the spectral moonlight. Its somber glow reveals the glaring absence of a struggle, the void where the caller once stood. The night is dead silent, save for the faint, distant hum of the city. The deserted street bears silent testimony to the man's harrowing ordeal, a sinister chill hanging in the air as the only memento of his presence. In the desolation, it's almost possible to hear the spectral echo of his desperate plea, a sound that continues to reverberate long after his disappearance. It lingers in the air, a frigid testament to the paralyzing fear that had once hung heavily over the deserted street. The only remnants left, a bone-chilling cold in the air and the phantom echo of a desperate cry for help. A call comes in, the voice on the other end trembling with fear. The loud ring of the telephone pierces the silence of the desolate night, a haunting siren song that echoes off the lifeless walls of the police station. The man behind the desk jumps, startled by the unexpected sound. Hesitant fingers reach for the receiver, the dread of the unknown already sending shivers down his spine. He swallows hard, clearing his throat before speaking into the mouthpiece, his voice a steady rock amidst the sea of uncertainty. With the phone pressed against his ear, the murmured words of the caller trickle in, sending a chill down his spine. The caller is a woman. Her voice is soft, a mere whisper against the backdrop of her fears. She paints a picture is as horrifying as it is heartbreaking. Her house, once a sanctuary, now feels like a predator's den. She's alone, yet she feels watched, as though she's the prey in a deadly game of cat and mouse. She tells him of the shadows that seem to move of own accord, creeping along the walls and floor, twisting and contorting into unnatural forms. She speaks of whispers that float through the silence, barely audible words that slither through her consciousness, infecting her with a sense of imminent doom. Her breath hitches as she recounts the growing sense of dread, the fear of the unknown that gnawing at her sanity. Her words, though laced with terror, paint a vivid picture of her situation. The officer imagines her, a lone woman in a sprawling house, the ominous presence her only companion. He feels the hairs on the back of his neck stand up, a shiver coursing through him at the thought of her predicament. Without wasting a moment, he organizes a response team, his orders punctuating the silence of the station. The police rush to the scene, their sirens slicing through the stillness of the night. The eerie silence of the house greets them, the looming shadows a cruel reminder of the woman's fear. They find her alone, the presence seemingly vanished. Yet the room is colder, an unnatural frost hanging in the air, a chilling bite that gnaws at their resolve. The icy tendrils of dread wrap around them, the emptiness of the house now a terrifying echo of the woman's fear. As the officers conduct their search, the dispatcher sits back at his desk, his heart pounding in his chest. He can't shake off the chilling words of the woman, her fear resonating with him. He feels a sudden chill, as though an icy hand has brushed against his skin. Then the line disconnects. The silence that follows is heavy, oppressive. The dispatcher stares at the phone, a sense of unease creeping over him. As he reaches to disconnect the call, a frosty whisper brushes his ear, a chilling promise that sends a shudder down his spine. "You're next." These are but a few of the uncanny calls that emergency dispatchers field, each one a chilling testament to the inexplicable, leaving a cold, lingering dread in its wake. Remember, when the phone rings in the dead of night, you never know who or what might be on the other end. We hope you've enjoyed this chilling journey into the unknown. If you're brave enough to delve deeper into these terrifying tales, hit that subscribe button and join us as we continue to explore the unseen. If this video sent shivers down your spine, give it a like to show your support. Perhaps you've had your own eerie encounter with the unknown. We invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. Your tale might just be the next story we tell. Remember, fear is only a phone call away. Until next time, stay safe, stay vigilant, and keep exploring the unknown with us.